2012. Apologize for being late. I'm joined by the great councilman of the 15th District, Joe Buscaino. This is Tom Labongi. It's great to be here. Mr. Clerk, what do we got right in front of us? Madam Clerk.
Yes, would you like item 1?
Item 1.
Under item 1, in response to council's instructions, the chief legislative analyst submits for approval a report and recommendations on the proposed Olympic North Hotels project, along with a proposed subvention agreement between the city and the developer, who is 901 West Olympic Boulevard Limited Partnership. This developer has proposed to build 2 hotels with a combined total of 392 rooms in the Los Angeles Sports and Entertainment District in close proximity to the convention center. And under the proposed subvention agreement, the city would state its intention to form a community taxing district that would reimburse the developer for a portion of the construction costs through subvention of the city's transient occupancy tax for up to 25 years. And
Very
John
good.
Wickham of CLA staff.
John Wickham, CLA. John, what do you report?
We report that we followed the instructions of the City Council to hire an a firm to conduct the economic analysis of this project. They looked at the development costs of the project. They looked at the revenues that would be generated by the project. They looked at the economic impact on the city in terms of general fund revenues that the city would earn as a result of this project being built. And in all of that analysis, we came to the conclusion that there is a financing gap in the project. And as we do on all of these deals, when these questions come before us, we determined that there was a need for city assistance on this. And the tool we use is this community taxing district. We provide a certain amount of the TOT, the transient occupancy tax, no more than 50% of the total net new revenue generated by the project. That means that the city is going to benefit and the project is going to get built. And so our recommendation to you is to approve the subvention agreement that we've negotiated. This would provide $21.9 million in net present value revenue to the project to help them with the financing of the project. They're still, originally they requested $28 million. As a result of the fiscal analysis that we conducted, we determined that they would only be eligible for $21.9 million. So we brought that down in terms of the amount that the city will provide to them. So they will need to find the additional equity on their side to complete the project, but they are in agreement with the numbers that we have in front of us, and they are in agreement with the subvention agreement that we negotiated, and they're ready to go. This is a project that can start construction immediately.
That's good to hear.
Wow.
I got a letter here from the councilwoman of the 9th District, Jan Perry, strong support of that. Do you have that in the file as well? Joe, do you have any questions for the CLA?
No question, just a comment. This is exciting to move forward and approve, and not only will it create jobs, but good paying, sustainable jobs in the future. And this is the project we're looking at on Francisco, right?
It's on Olympic. It's right on Olympic, right across the street from the Marriott hotels in the LA Live project. Francisco, I think, is the other street. Yeah, the cross street.
Okay.
Francisco, Georgia, and
Right.
there. Yeah.
You know what? I often tell my story of a police officer being assigned down here, and I will continue to share my story, and those in the audience here. And Mr. Chair, if I may, I'll never forget downtown Los Angeles being littered with gangs, drugs, prostitution on Francisco in the general vicinity. What's there today, especially in light of the Kings winning the Stanley Cup? What's there today is LA Live. What this development has done, it's weeded our way out of poverty. It's put people back to work. It's made Los Angeles a great destination, and it's helping with our revenue. I mean, this is exciting to move forward. I will continue to support this and be a champion for this project. And let's not forget what's happening at the waterfront. We need to do the same in my district. And the fact that we welcomed the USS Iowa for its first time this last Saturday was refreshing and energized the community. The city is so excited to know that the USS Iowa is a tipping point for waterfront development. So I stand here to support this and move forward, and I'm so looking forward to seeing this project come to fruition.
But Mr. Miller and you and all the CLA did the tough, scrub the numbers. This is right. This is a
Absolutely.
good thing. So
Yes, we had hired Kaiser Marston to assist us in that,
Right.
and
Yeah.
they are here to help you answer any questions. If you do have any questions, but they did an exceptional job, and they gave us, helpful numbers to, as you say, scrub this project and make sure that we were getting the right deal for them.
right. You ever see the movie Damn Yankees?
No.
It's a good. Ray Walston was in. You ever see it?
I was in it at the seventh grade.
Seventh grade. You
it
were
was
in the
my-
play.
it
I
was the
didn't know
play.
you were in the play. I thought you said
The
tell me-
spring musical at Dana Middle School.
All right. Anyway, they had an escape clause, at the end. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Is there any clause in there for the city of Los Angeles if this becomes a super enterprise that the city benefits even greater, or is it all a flat line?
It's 25 years or $21.9 million. So if they do extremely well and they reach the $21.9 million sooner, it's done.
Good. Super.
Yeah.
Mr.
And yeah.
Mr. Rosendahl just joined us. Mr. Rosendahl, if you want to collect your thoughts, we just started item number 1.
Great.
I'm going to call public comment, and then I'll call you for your comments on this item right now. First comment card would be Christopher Sutton from the Western Bonaventure Hotel.
My name is Christopher Sutton. I'm an attorney for the Western Bonaventure Hotel. As in the past, we opposed these subventions. We have filed 3 lawsuits in the past. We will probably file another lawsuit. We may take a referendum petition on the district construction. The failure to recognize the severe environmental impacts of closing competitive hotels by undercutting them with city subsidies has not been recognized in any of the environmental studies or the economic studies. The city will lose money when other hotels that are being forced out of business by this subsidized hotel will be left on the market vacant. Jobs will be destroyed. The net impact on the city is negative. The net impact on existing hotels is negative. The Bonaventure strongly opposes it, and we will do anything in our power to stop this project. Thank you.
Can I just ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
In 1974, I was in Bunker Hill, and I took a picture of the steel when that was under steel, just building the Bonaventure Hotel. Don't you think the city helped the Bonaventure Hotel in 1974 get started?
The Portman company that built the hotel went bankrupt because there was too many hotel rooms, and my client bought the hotel out of bankruptcy, I believe, in 1990, because the city always overbuilds hotels, as most cities do, with these subsidies. My client was not subsidized. My client owns the hotel today. My client was not the constructor. The constructor put the hotel into bankruptcy because it was too big for the market at that time.
But you think you're good? What's your occupancy yesterday? Like, how many people were there? How many people?
I'm the attorney doing.
I know, but you should know these things because that's what I base my facts on. Good hotels.
My understanding is
you're going to be a good hotel. How much?
80%.
That's pretty good.
I understand, but that's because we can compete, and we are competing without government subsidies, so that to the extent that you are providing subsidies to a competitor to undercut our rates, our occupancy will go down, we will be harmed. Other smaller hotels, as has in the past, when you've subsidized in the past, have gone out of business, jobs have been lost.
Can you name some that went out of business in our area?
Well, the Radisson by USC is now a dorm because
USC needs dorms. USC is the driving force of change because if it wasn't for USC and the international
longer a
students,
hotel. It's no
because
longer a
they need
hotel.
student housing because they're an international
price
school.
went down because they were in bankruptcy. You're putting other competing hotels into bankruptcy by subsidizing one hotel at the expense of others.
I disagree with you, but I'll be happy to meet with you anytime and say hello to the owner of your hotel. Okay, we have some other cards here. Robbie Hunter. I'm going to call 1-minute public comment on this here. Robbie Hunter, Kevin Kirsch, Ron Miller, Benjamin McLean, if I said that correctly, please. Start talking.
Robbie Hunter, the building trades. The developer has done an agreement. The developer has done an agreement to ensure that local building trades workers are on this project. They've done a project labor agreement. This is absolutely the hotel's in the right place. When we redo the convention center, we'll have a hotel with direct access to the convention center, which is pretty far away from the Bonaventure Hotel. And so we're really planning a different market over there. The deferment for which this developer's asking is absolutely doable for the city. There's empty lots over there right now. There will be income to the city. It's a half deferment, and we support the project.
Thank you very much. David Kirsch, you can take a seat here. Ron Miller and Benjamin McLean, is that correct? McLeod, I'm sorry. your C's a little higher on the, thank you.
Good morning, David Kirsch with the Carpenters Contractors Cooperation Committee here. I'm here to show our strong support for this project. It's going to create jobs. It's going to continue to revitalize downtown, and it makes a lot of sense for the city participation. This is an investment in our future, in our city, in our youth. A lot of our community members, our youth, are going to have jobs, good-paying jobs, and we show our very strong support. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Ron Miller with the LA Orange County Building Trades. And council member, you stole my story.
Sorry.
A couple of years ago, I was with the Plumbers Union, a couple blocks away from this area. Wouldn't even think about going down there at night.
Right.
All there was drugs, prostitutes, crime. We have a true entertainment district now. With the new convention center, we're going to need hotels. We don't have enough. So we absolutely need this. There's other hotels in other areas that are in the queue. We look forward to speaking in favor of them hotels, too, in other areas of the city. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, gentlemen. My name's Ben McLeod. I'm a cook at the JW Marriott at LA Live. I've seen firsthand how the revitalization of downtown LA has brought good paying long-term union jobs to this city, so I'm here to support this project. As a citizen of LA, when I moved here about 6 years ago, I mean, as has been said, there was nothing downtown, and I'm pleased to see the change, and I frequent the Spring Street corridor and LA Live frequently. So,
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Kevin Bass, Rachel Torres, Gary Cook.
Gary.
Come on up.
Good morning, council members. My name is Kevin Bass. I'm sorry, committee members. My name is Kevin Bass with Painters and Allied Trades Union. We represent about 11,000 people in the Southern California area. I've been a Los Angeles resident all of my life, and I've seen downtown make a 180-degree turn within the last 10 to 15 years. And this is just another piece in that puzzle. It is, of course, going to supply jobs for my union members, the other crafts union members. So that's something that's a given. But also, this is the missing piece, another missing piece in the puzzle to bring downtown back to life. And if anyone deserves a subsidy, this developer does. It's not just a benefit for him, it's a benefit for the whole city. So I think we should all be in favor of this. Thank you.
Where'd you go to high school?
Fairfax.
A Lion. Good job. They got a new field. You been by their new field?
No,
They got a new field. Go by. Check it out. Yeah? Oh, yeah. Track 2. Okay. Very good. Rachel.
Good morning. My name is Rachel Torres. I'm a research analyst for Unite Here Local 11. I'm just going to echo the comments of all of our colleagues today. We're really proud of this project and the process moving forward today. It's incredible, the revitalization of downtown. We do need more hotels in the downtown area. I mean, we hear that constantly, and our members benefit tremendously. All of the money that is earned through good living wage jobs comes back into the city through taxes that benefit the entire community and the entire city. So we're very proud of this project, proud of AEG, proud of Homer Williams, and the good work that they are doing downtown, and we are very proud to support it.
Thank you, Rachel.
Councilman, my name's Gary Cook with Plumbers Local 78. Our office is a block down the street from the complex. We are grateful to have this project. I have 45% unemployment out of my hall. My members have been out of work for over a year. Some of them have gone through their unemployment. The redevelopment of Los Angeles is a great thing. We're looking forward to that. It'll help our apprenticeship, the community around us. Anyhow, I just want to say that we're in support of it.
Hey, thanks, Gary. Have you worked out the deal with the water and power on waterless urinals?
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay, good. Because we need all the water we can.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Ann Nguyen and Shamara Davis. Thank you.
Good morning, council members. Ann Nguyen with the Central City Association. We share your enthusiasm about this project. You're probably aware downtown has experienced an incredible rebirth in the past decade or so. We have thousands of new residents, workers, visitors who come here every single day. And our members are committed to transforming LA, or downtown, into a much more thriving community. And we believe this project will contribute to our continued renaissance. It's a great project that not only continues the momentum that we've built, but it also helps us attract more convention business, something we all agree that Los Angeles needs. It's widely known that downtown needs more hotel rooms. This project will bring more visitors, more jobs, and more revenue into the city. There's not much more you can ask for, in our opinion. It's a win-win. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Good morning, Councilman Member Labange. My name is Shamari Davis. I'm a business representative for IBW Local 11, the Electricians Union. And whenever lights go up in the city, we're always excited about that. I represent about 7,500 electricians here in Los Angeles County. And it's a good time for us. We're hiring apprentices right now. A lot of work is starting to come up, and we're very excited about that. And we're extremely excited about developers that are responsible developers that think about the city of LA and the community, and being able to have people that come in and have a real career and be able to be responsible adults in Los Angeles City and Los Angeles County. So we firmly really support this project, and we need to encourage developers who think about doing project labor agreements so that everybody can be able to get the American dream. We have to support those type of developers, and we wholeheartedly responsibly respect that, and we support it. Thank
But
you.
you got a good training program for apprentices?
Yes, we do. A great training program.
Very good. That completes the cards. Joe, you were talking about Francisco Street. I was going to talk about Georgia Street. You know what used to be on Georgia Street?
No.
Juvenile Division, so you never were there. So this is long ago. You know, the LAPD history, Juvenile Division was on that. I don't know if anybody remembers Georgia Street Juvenile, but maybe you aren't. Oh, one officer, good job. All right, okay, good. Thank you very much. Mr. Wickham, we're joined by Mr. Rosendahl. And,
Let me say something.
Okay.
If it's the fact that Juvenile Division, Mr. Chair, was there on Georgia Street,
Right.
we talk about jobs, not jails.
Right.
How appropriate
Exactly.
that what's there today
Exactly.
is
very
putting
good.
people back to work
Putting
instead
people
of
back to work.
behind bars.
Right. But
So, Councilman, there's
Yes.
one technical correction I'd like to make to recommendations 1 and 2. The council file that's referenced in those recommendations there's a typo, so it should be council file 09-3070. So if the record could reflect that correction, I'd appreciate that.
right. And Mr. Rosendahl's joined us, and he may have some questions.
Sure do. First, I'd like the developer to come up, please.
Well, if you'd like to come up, or his representative, this is not a hearing of court of law or anything like that, but you're welcome to come up. State your name.
Good morning, committee members. My name is Jim Atkins. I'm a partner with 901 West Olympic Limited Partnership, which is a partnership comprised of Williams and Dame and American Life.
What are those two groups, Williams and Ames, in that life?
Williams and Dame is a small entrepreneurial developer from Portland, Oregon. If you recall, they were a partner in the South Group, which were the developers of 11, Luma, and Evo.
And the other group?
American Life is a company based out of Seattle. They're a developer investor based in Seattle. They've done hotel projects. They also have a building company that will be the project's general contractor.
Have they gotten subsidies from other cities throughout their existence? And how many hotels do they have and manage?
I don't know the question. I don't know the answer to the first question about other subsidies.
Could we get an answer by council tomorrow?
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead.
And the second question, they're a partner in a Marriott Courtyard Hotel in Seattle that is completed. They're also a partner in a recently announced project in Seattle.
How deep are their pockets? How much, abilities do they have financially on their own without a subsidy?
Couldn't answer that question.
Okay, I'd like that answer too tomorrow. Okay, first thing, and stay there for a minute. I want to thank all the union people here. I am for more hotels downtown. I obviously believe in the convention center. I joined the AEG team, and I am a cheerleader. I want the NFL to come to town, and I want to see 7 or 8 more hotels. I want to see 5,000 to 7,000 hotel rooms in this city, so we become one of the top 5 convention centers. And we are an international city. We're the #1 destination airport in the world. We have a great marketing team, and it will be a fabulous convention center / sports arena / NFL and all that. What's happening downtown is a vibration is getting stronger and bigger and bigger. I love it. And I want to know if they can pick up the tab. I don't want taxpayers to subsidize anything if we can get away with not subsidizing it. Okay? It's not fair. Corporate America has to take the risk, not the taxpayers in this great city. And so I want to have some real answers from your deep-pocketed people tomorrow when we come to council. I support the concept of hotels. But I don't believe the taxpayers, when we need cops and we need this and we need that, and we barely can make ends meet. We can't do the basic services of our citizenry right now. We have less staff as a city than we had back in the Bradley days, and yet streets are deteriorating. Everything is needing to be worked on. So I don't know if a hotel at this point. I am very much excited about moving forward with more hotels in the project. And the unions, my God, 30%, 40%, 50% unemployment is totally unacceptable. And we know these characters running for president, it's all about jobs, jobs, jobs. We all want jobs, but we want them done the right way. So I want to have strong answers in public tomorrow about your pockets and this and that and everything else. And I want to understand why you need a subsidy of how much?
It's $21.9 million
21.9
in net present value.
And
yes.
why are you proposing that rather than letting them bite the bullet, take the risk, and go forward as we're developing further downtown as it's coming along?
In the analysis that we conducted, we looked at all of the costs of building the project and all of the revenues that would be generated by the project, and determined that there's a gap in the financing for the construction of the project.
Have you looked at their pockets and their background and their history and the other hotels they have and all the other things in other cities have subsidized? You did any homework on them?
We haven't reviewed the subsidies that the developers have received in other cities.
So then why are you even proposing it without doing that kind of homework?
It's this is the way that we've moved forward on each of these other deals with the hotel analyses, and this is a project that stands alone right in front of us, and this is the project that the recommendation we brought forward to you.
I understand that you didn't do enough homework.
Yeah.
You got to answer those questions for me. Look, I love what we've done downtown. To take it from where it was to where it is today is fabulous. And for the Kings to win last night. I mean, I can see us winning all kinds of things. I can see those conventions. I can see that this is moving in the right direction. But to subsidize it, what, 21 point what million did you say?
21.9.
Yeah, and you haven't figured out how many other hotels they have and if anybody else has done anything or any of that kind of stuff. Well, you need to do that before we can vote on this properly, because we're at a point where government is not the problem. The public-private partnership is the key to success going forward in everything we do. That's why I'm pushing for the zip line on the beach, where I can get my garbage cans and bathrooms cleaned. That's a public-private partnership. I'm all for 4, 5, 6, 7 more hotels. I believe in the future of downtown dramatically. As I've told the Wiki more than once, how can I make this happen? Because I'm there. And I respect the fact that they put out all these years and helped develop downtown the way they have. And I respect Jan Perry for her leadership on that. But to me, we've reached a point where we can no longer have the taxpayers take the risk at the expense of cops and services and everything else. And $21 million ain't, chopped chicken liver.
Mr. Rosendahl, thank you very much. Just have a question.
Unless somebody has
What
some
taxes, let me ask the taxes, what tax is the subsidy going here?
The only tax that will be available is the transient occupancy
Not
tax.
the property tax where any of us may live if we live in Los Angeles.
No property
Not
tax.
the sales tax that we get from
no
the state.
business tax.
This is
no
directly
parking
from the
tax.
hotel room.
It's only
So
that you-
basically, the more hotel rooms we build, the more taxes get paid. That's the subsidy that's come. How much do you think it costs to fix the sidewalks and the gutters around Francisco and Georgia Street?
The city would not be able to.
I know,
cover that, yeah.
I know. So this may be, I'm just looking for a possible solution to say that this does not come from the property tax of the people of this city or the sales tax from the state of California. It comes from the tax of our hotel rooms in Los Angeles City.
Yeah.
And additionally, if it's $21 million, I think you could spend $21 million just on the street improvements, which would be a shared experience.
And
But you
actually,
have your
I would
work
note-
cut out for you, because Mr. Rosendahl is trying to be like the Goldie, keep everything out of the net. Mr. Joe here and I want to score, as we all do. And we're all on the same page, Mr. Rosendahl. We're all on the same page.
Hey, I'm for the Kings. They won, and they got it in the net.
Right.
We
But
won.
I'm for the people. Yeah, I'm for the people, but
I
we
will
won't
note that
argue
the,
anymore. I'm going to ask that we make a vote on this as we send a recommendation
Just
to
one more
council.
question again for both, and just for the record, and I want these answers tomorrow. How long do we need to continue to subsidize hotels in downtown? What dynamics need to change before hotel development can be self-supporting and not need public subsidy? That's all. I want those answers.
And last question, how many things do we subsidize in the rainbow of services to Los Angeles? How many partnerships do we have? Just general. You don't have to be specific.
Yeah, I
Along
wouldn't know the
those
number,
lines.
but there are a lot of different
Yeah.
types of projects, that we've subsidized under this or supported in this kind of scenario.
Up in Hollywood, you've changed Hollywood because of this partnership.
Central Los
This is the
Angeles,
public-private
downtown, in the valley.
Yeah.
This is the economic development model that the city's been using since the mid-'90s.
I remember when LA Live was a parking lot. Yeah, I remember when LA Live was a parking lot. And then, so all of it, let's work it out. Let's get the answers for Mr. Rosendahl.
Sure, it's valid.
So he feels comfortable. I'll give you $21 million if you can name one king.
Quickly.
Okay, all right, okay.
I don't think Tom has $21 million, first of all.
Okay, he did it, all right.
I saw it last
Great,
night.
Great. All right.
Tom did it to me on the NFL, too, you know.
All right, thank you very much.
Doing
Look
my
at-
homework on
I'm
that.
taking the air out of the room.
But just one more thing I want to say about Century Boulevard, where I have a string of hotels. Every time we subsidize another hotel, they say, why not
Why
me?
not us?
When they're over there, too. So these are issues that impact all of us. And you didn't do enough homework for me, so you can't get my vote today. Thank you.
That's okay. So we'll vote 2-1, send it to council recommendation, and have those questions asked, including outside things that we do subsidize in partnership. Next item.
Yes, under item 2, the Board of Harbor Commissioners submits for approval by ordinance a proposed licensing agreement form and a proposed licensing fee schedule for the one-time commercial use of Harbor Department-owned photographs. The Harbor Department asks that council adopt the ordinance to approve the board's adopted order, which approves the proposed licensing agreement form and the licensing fee schedule, and authorizes the executive director of the Harbor Department or designee to execute the agreement with individual licensees in accordance with the fee schedule.
Good.
And the CAO has submitted a report to the mayor with a recommendation for approval.
Thank you very much. Mr. Gross.
Sure. Aaron Gross, Port of Los, or LA Harbor Department. Councilman or council members, you've seen this item before. My executive director came and testified on this
Last month,
a few meetings ago. As the CLA referenced, this is a licensing agreement and establishing a fee schedule for commercial use of Harbor Department photographs. We don't want to take up too much of your time, but if you have any questions about the item.
Joe, you're good?
I'm good.
You're good?
I'm good.
And you've talked to our public library, and, and they know, because they have a system like this as well. Good job. We're going to recommend approval. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you. Next item.
Under item 3, the Board of Harbor Commissioners submits for council approval the third amendment to a contract with DPRA Incorporated, a contract for legal assistance in the field of environmental forensics. And the amendment would extend the term by 18 months for a total contract term of 8.5 years, ending in October 2013. The CAO has submitted a report to the mayor with a recommendation for approval.
Great.
Good morning. Ken Matfeld, Deputy City Attorney assigned at the Harbor Division. This is just another contract extension for my expert witness that I would use at trial of the matter. I can't get a trial date set because we're haggling with the Regional Water Quality Control Board. So I just keep these guys hanging on, waiting for the date.
You're okay with this, Bill?
Perfect.
You're good? Good.
Yes.
Do you have to take furloughs?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we should get the city attorney of water, power, and airports and harbor off furloughs because they're not helping their departments.
Absolutely.
But anyway.
Good idea.
Okay. All righty. Recommend approval. Recommend approval.
So moved.
Okay. Next item.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Under item 4, the Board of Airport Commissioners submits for council approval the third amendment to the contract with Ventress Architects, a contract for architectural engineering, planning, and design services in connection with the capital improvement program at LAX. The amendment would increase the contract amount by $23 million for a total contract amount of $147 million plus over the contract term of 7 years, which will expire in May 2015. The CAO has submitted a report to the mayor and the council recommending approval.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, Roger Johnson, Deputy Executive Director, Los Angeles World Airports. The item in front of you today is an amendment to continue the services of Ventress Architects. They have been working for the last 4.5 years on the Tom Bradley International Terminal modernization project. Over the course of the project, we've expanded the scope. We've made some substantial changes to what we're calling the renovation phase of the project, which is taking the existing ticket lobby of the Tom Bradley International Terminal, and we're going to relocate the security checkpoint upstairs. We're extending the mezzanine out, so it's going to be a very bright, open, airy area. So we believe it's a substantial improvement. We're also going to be adding some internal, they're bridges, but they're hallways that will allow connectivity from the Tom Bradley Terminal to the north and south.
Gina Marie supports it?
Absolutely.
All right. Mr. Rosendahl?
Yeah, a couple of questions.
Okay.
First of all, I'm so proud of how we're moving on this project there, and I was so happy that the environmental aspects that you played a historic role in will go down in history for what you've done with this airport. So I just want to applaud you.
Thank you,
for
sir.
that. I just want to understand the construction issue of getting around right now that has made concerns for people. You guys have been real clear about what you're doing. Explain what that is, and what do we tell people who are going to the airport and coming back from the airport, and so I'd like to understand it better.
We've entered a phase of construction at the airport now, primarily with the central utility plant and all the underground utilities that are going on, where we're doing a significant amount of utility work in the central terminal area. So we are now starting to close a number of lanes. The lanes are going to be closed for several months on and off, in fact, for the next couple of years. So we've required all the contractors to put together a very robust traffic management plan. We've also created a group within the airport whose only job is looking at the traffic impacts and logistics within the area. And we have a very robust awareness program, public awareness program that we're starting. If you've probably heard it on the news, where we're sponsoring broadcasts. We're trying to get the word out to let people know, similar to the Carmageddon, I guess, although the impacts aren't as significant, to make sure people understand before they come to the airport, check the traffic, check the website, see what's going on.
And I really appreciate that, because the ramp jam, where I've been saying patience, 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 starts on June 22nd for 90 days. My district is already paralyzed. It can barely move around. And I'm very worried what that's going to be. So people who use the 405 to get to the airport not only have to put extra time on that aspect, the 405 and the 101 and Sepulveda and all that, but they're going to also have to appreciate that when they get there, how much of an additional time factor do they need once they get to the moment of going into the airport area?
I can tell you right now, it's less than 5 minutes.
Oh.
So we've added traffic officers on many of the critical intersections to keep traffic moving. So we've done all the mitigation that we possibly can. So our peak travel times, but Sunday evenings is probably the peak travel time, and we've probably only experienced about a 5, maybe to 10-minute delay at the max.
Great, thank you very much.
Last question. What's more impactful, people going to catch a flight or people getting out?
Yes.
Which,
it's
leaving?
actually both. It's
So it's
both.
equal?
Yeah,
It's 50-50?
It's equal, yes.
It's 50-50.
It's coming and going.
Okay, good. We're going to recommend approval. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item.
Yes, under item 5, the Board of Airport Commissioners submits for approval a resolution for adoption of the air carrier operating permit, which is to be used between the city and each air carrier that wishes to conduct aircraft operations at LAX more than 5 times in a year. Each permit for a term of 10 years beginning on October 1, 2012. The commission also asked for approval of an amendment for each existing operating permit for LAX to extend the term for 3 months from June 30th to September 30th in order to give the international carriers sufficient time to review and execute the new operating permit. And for the first time, for example, this permit will include a fee to reimburse LAWA for the rental of a customs facility where all international cargo must be inspected. And so it's just a new format for the corporate heads to review.
Right, and who wants to speak for the airport? Okay.
Steve Martin, Chief Operating Officer,
Yes,
Los
Steve.
Angeles World Airports.
Go ahead, Steve.
This item is the primary instrument by which we collect landing fees and other fees from the airlines operating at the airport. It's simply a renewal of a longstanding practice with all the new city legislative language included in the operating permit. It also provides the instrument for payment security, faithful performance guarantee, or a security deposit for fees paid.
Is ever an airline not paid?
There have been airlines that have gone bankrupt, and
Yeah.
we grab their security deposit. And at
Right.
the end of the day, the airfield is a sort of a zero-sum game in terms of the way we set the fees. We always break even.
Right.
Even if someone doesn't pay.
Good. Mr.
I'm good.
Bill?
Good.
Yeah, just a couple of quick ones.
Sure.
And thank you for your leadership over there. You're doing a great job. Why is LAWA proposing a new term of 10 years instead of the previous 5-year term?
Well, the primary reason is that we had a 5-year term, and then we proceeded to extend the ACOP multiple times till it became a 10-year term. And the way we've structured it this time is we've said, let's make it a 10-year term with a 30-day cancellation provision.
Great.
So it's accepting the fact that we may go out to a certain point in time, but we can cancel with 30 days' notice.
So you got that flexibility. Can you confirm whether all airline service contractors are subject to the LAX worker retention ordinance?
I believe all the companies that are under contract to LAWA are subject to the worker retention ordinance. I don't know that all the companies, and I don't know the answer. I'd have to get you the answer if all the companies who are not the city's contractors are also subject to it.
I'd love to know that answer,
Okay.
because obviously I'm a big believer in the unions there getting the support systems they should
Okay.
get.
Hey, I just know this number. Lufthansa 451 comes from Frankfurt. When it lands, how much does it cost, basically? How do you, just a guesstimate, what's a 747 fully loaded?
I think the number is about $4,000.
$4,000, so it's not a giant number.
That's a pretty big number.
Well, you what do you make about half of that a day, don't you? All right, thank you. We're going to recommend approval. I'm teasing you. Thank you very much. Recommend approval. Next item.
Yes, under item 6, the Board of Airport Commissioners submits for council approval a terminal commercial management concession agreement with Westfield Concession Management, LLC, for the development and operation of concessions in Terminals 1, 3, and 6 at LAX, excluding airport-wide concessions. This agreement provides for a development term of 3 years and an operational term of 14 years for a total term of 17 years ending in June 2029. The CAO has submitted a report to the mayor and the council recommending approval.
Thank you very much. If you give a report, we have one public comment card.
Okay. This is the last of the major RFPs for food and beverage and retail concessions at the airport. As you may recall, we did Terminals 4, 5, 7, 8 a couple of years ago. And we also, earlier this year or late last year, did terminal commercial manager for the Tom Bradley International Terminal and Terminal 2. And so this award is for Terminals 1, 3, and 6. And we're looking forward to improving the concessions in the terminals.
Great. Mr. Rosal, you have a few questions?
I sure do, but I think Westfield's going to do a great job. Let's start off with that. I'm excited about it. For the benefit of the public, can you confirm that the city attorney and the Board of Airport Commissioners determined that the Airway Mall protest had no merit?
I should let the city attorney answer that, but from the
Great.
For LAWA and the Board of Airport Commissioners, yes.
Great.
Explain that for the public who's listening out there, what you just said, Bill.
I want her to.
No. What the
explain.
question, though? Because I didn't understand the question.
Well, I know, but
And I'm the
explain.
chairman. Ask the
Understand.
question again.
God bless you, Mr. Chairman.
I
know. We know there was a protest, and we wanted.
But explain what that was, though, because the mall, there was a protest on the airfield?
Of course.
Okay.
Janice Hahn and I were there.
Okay.
It was May Day, and it was talking about the issues that impact this nation. We're looking for jobs, 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 and we're looking for jobs with benefits and packages, health care, and living wage, and those issues. There are 5,000 people at the airport that are part of the underbelly of the glue that holds it together, that don't have their rights on health care and the living wage. And so we're working with them on that. And there was, in the American tradition, a wonderful demonstration, was not disruptive, nothing caused any problems. Your leadership and Gina Marie's was fantastic. The LAPD and the airport police, everybody worked well. So for the benefit of the public, can you confirm that the city attorney and the Board of Airport Commissioners determined that the Airway Mall protest had no merit?
Good morning, council members. Deputy City Attorney Helen Sock. Our office did review the protest that was filed by Airway Mall, and after review, our office believes that any legal action will be defensible, and the Board of Airport Commissioners did find that Airway Mall's protest was meritless.
Great. Well, thank you for that answer for the record. If we approve this contract, which terminals at LAX will now have their concessions developed and operated by Westfield?
If this contract is approved, it'll be Terminal 1, 2, 3, 6, and the Tom Bradley International Terminal.
Beautiful. What is the timeline for opening all of these concession spaces in both the TCM package?
The first thing we're making sure we're going to get open is the concessions in the Bradley West part of the Tom Bradley International Terminal. That's been our primary focus because we need to make sure we have open food and beverage and retail concessions when that building opens. I believe that is scheduled for March of next year. So that'll be the first major opening among the TCM packages.
I've been meeting with various groups that are presenting their international wares and duty-free type stuff. Where are we on that process?
On the duty-free project, which is another concession competitive process, we are in the middle of evaluating the 8 proposals that we received. We've interviewed all the 8 proposers, and we're continuing our evaluation.
I'm very excited about that competition going on and their relationship to local partners. It's very exciting for all of us. Will Westfield comply with all of our requirements with respect to labor relations?
Yes.
And they have a great track record for that. I just wanted that on the record. Can you also confirm that the Workers' Retention Ordinance applies to all LAX employees that are impacted under this contract?
Yes, they are.
And once fully developed, what are we anticipating as an increase in concessions revenue from these contracts?
Compared to what we earn today in these terminals, I believe it's about a 30% increase over what we're earning today.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rosendahl.
Yes, on this this award here, can you talk about Westfield's local business participation as well as minority-owned businesses, women-owned, and small business participation?
I can't, but I think Westfield can. Westfield did agree to meet the goals that we set for the ACDBEs, the Airport Concession Disadvantaged Business Enterprises,
Give this to the
in their agreement. So they've agreed to that.
Okay, good. And also the current workers, will they have to be retrained? What's the process? As far as are we offering retraining programs?
Yes, it's under the workers' retention. They have 90 days to go through training and to see if they can work with the new concessionaires. And then the decisions are made whether to keep them or not.
Very good. Thank you. Nothing further, Mr. Chair.
Okay, I'm got one public comment card right now. Tim McCosker.
Tim McCosker, Mayor Brown, LLP, and I'm glad, Councilman, you handed the eggs away to somebody else.
My 2 colleagues earn them every day.
Thank you very much.
Mayor Brown, we represent Airway Mall. Chairman and members, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to you. How much time do I have to present protest?
2 minutes.
Just the 2 minutes? Okay, I will be.
144, 143, 142.
Okay. Okay.
You can take a little time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. For the record, I have submitted some documents to you, and I have an additional letter which repeats some of what we suspected below, but which we've confirmed with the exhibits. To back up, Airway Mall submitted a protest which we believe has been denied, although it wasn't agendized before the Airport Commission and wasn't discussed in the staff report, and there was no separate action taken. But we come forward today to describe a little bit of what happened below. We had made a Public Records Act request after we had reviewed all of the documents pursuant to the protest procedure, asking for a series of documents, including the contract, the 17-year, multi-million-dollar contract that was proposed for adoption. When we came to the hearing, that document had not been produced. Your counsel will tell you that during negotiations, you need not produce a document because it impairs the public's ability to negotiate the best deal. You had concluded negotiations. In fact, you had a recommendation in front of the civic body to approve this 17-year contract, and yet the agreement was not made available to us. All we had available to us was the Tibbet contract, which was also awarded to Westfield, so we could only make an argument by extrapolation. We looked at the proposal that had come in on Tibbet, and we looked at the contract that ultimately was approved.
And we don't say Tibbet in this room, so unless you correct that.
The great Tom Bradley.
International Airport.
International Airport. The great Tom Bradley. Thank you. And there were substantial, we would say, material changes made to the proposal from the original proposal, the one that was compared side by side with the other proposers, to the contract. And we said, and we submitted that in red line, and we said if that happens again in this secret document, this document that is somewhere in the room but not shared with us, we would be concerned about substantial changes. Well, the action was approved, and the next day, I can't make these facts up, the next day we get a copy of the contract because it was assembled and was provided to us in the Public Records Act. And I've submitted to you Exhibit A, a red line of what the proposal, what the changes were from the contract form in the proposal to the final document, and there are substantial changes. And probably the most important is that there's a forgiveness of the MAG if emplanements go down. That would be nice to know when one is bidding on a project, that you'd be able to get a relief from the MAG. And it would also, it's not purely an academic question, because what was told to your board below and what's told to this board is that two proposals were put side by side and one compared favorably. And one compared favorably. We disagree with that analysis, but it's kind of irrelevant because it doesn't matter whether one compared favorably. There was already a contract negotiated which substantially deviated from the proposal that was presumed to be so favorable in the MAG and in many other provisions, and I've given you a red line copy. Too many for me to detail here. In fact, between the time that we got the document and today, it would probably be impossible for anybody to detail it. I will also say that, surprising to us, in the Public Records Act request, we also got a July 13th memorandum. I mean, I can only guess that it was dated July 13th because there's an email that covers it. It was essentially a narrative that came in from Westfield saying, we will proceed with this RFP, and we had not, and the Westfield had not turned in the proposal yet. We will proceed, but here are the changes we're going to want in the contract. That document was not circulated to us. We didn't find it in the proposal documents. We did not find it when we looked at the proposal during the proposal records during the protest. It came to us in response to a Public Records Act request after the protest was denied. And one of the items that was requested in that narrative, and it's Exhibit B in your packet, one of those items was we are going to seek a forgiveness of the MAG. The MAG is going to be flexible. It's not a fixed number. Lo and behold, it makes it into that memorandum. It doesn't make it into the proposal. It makes it into the contract that was approved without us seeing it. I will tell you, and I think your counsel will say, you cannot make material changes to it. Even though it's an RFP process and it's very informal, you can't make material changes from the proposal to the final document and purport to be comparing those side by side with another document that was frozen in time. Reject all is what I'm asking you to do.
Thank you very much. You conclude your public comment.
Sir, you've given me plenty of time. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I need your seat now. Would the city attorney just come up, or representative of the airport? I believe in the airport department and the city attorney's office. You reviewed this, and is there anything that the gentleman who just spoke correct? He said that he felt that there was not a process that was followed, or is this something that someone who comes in second or third or fourth or whatever they come in looks for in trying to halt an award?
Well, I'm going to address, generally, I'm going to have Deputy City Attorney Helen Sock address it. My name is Tim Daze. I'm Assistant General Counsel for the Department of Airports. I'm a Deputy City Attorney for the City of Los Angeles. The general practice of our office is to review any protest, to find out if there is any basis for the protests, and we then give our recommendations to our client, who is the Board of Airport Commissioners. As Ms. Sock has said, the protest that was filed by Airway Malls was found to be a defensible protest, and that we believe that if, in fact, Airway Malls did go to court to try and stop the award of the contract, that the city would be successful in the defense of that action. We have advised the client as such. So
Right, good, okay, that's what I needed to hear. If that's what you said. Would the Deputy City Attorney could add to that at all?
Good morning again. Just a couple of points to address Mr. McCosker's claims. Number one, I'm sorry, I apologize. Number one, the RFP, the request for proposal, which went out for terminals 1, 3, and 6, specifically says that the draft agreement that was posted is subject to change and illustrative only. That was very clear. And additionally, the proposers were allowed to submit questions in regards to the RFP or the draft agreement that was posted during the RFP process. Many of these answers that LAWA wrote were clearly indicated that most of these were subject to negotiations when the final proposer was selected at that point.
And this is our usual practice and pattern. This is how it operates. And I don't know how long you've been a Deputy City Attorney out of the airport.
I've been with LAWA for 2.5 years. I would say most of my RFPs have followed this process.
Right.
Depending on the complexity, Councilman, of the agreement clearly and of the issue. And final.
I could add something.
could add.
I mean, our primary motive in providing a draft agreement at the time of the RFP is so the proposers can see the city language on living wage ordinance, worker retention, and all the other things that are unique to the city of Los Angeles. So we make sure that everybody who's proposing sees those unique provisions. The business element of it is going to be resolved after we see the proposal.
Right.
So we're giving a draft agreement so that everybody who's proposing can see all the city language related to worker retention and living wage. And
Very good. Mr. Rosendahl, any questions?
Yes, first of all, I want to apologize for my description of this issue.
Yeah.
Because I was into the other issue of
Right.
Mayday.
Right.
And when I looked at it, I was responding to the Mayday business that you
Right.
and I have talked about, so I withdrew
That's where I was, but then I
I
figured.
just want to say I withdrew everything I had said about that because it was the wrong item on the agenda when he.
You were at the wrong gate, if I could use
Like
the
him asking
airport
me
term.
who was one of the Kings players? You know, it was one of those kinds of elected moments of embarrassment. So I just want to make sure we get clearly on the record. This was a different story. Frankly, if Mr. McCosker had gotten up first, and I would have played it from that perspective, it would have been different, obviously. So that's why you both are up here now and explaining this now.
Got it. We got it. Okay, I'm comfortable with the city attorney's explanation with the airport department's process. Do we have any, we're going to vote on this. Everybody support it?
Yes.
Support the recommendation of the City of Los Angeles CLA Board of Airport Commissioners and go forward.
Thank you.
Is there anyone want a public comment?
I do have something.
Mr. Rosendahl?
Yes, Mr. Chair, with your leadership, we've been talking about Ontario, and I'd like to request a report back from the CAO at the next TCT meeting on the status of the Ontario Airport study. I want to know where we are on that study from the CAO's office, and I'd like a report back. Mr. Chair, if we could put this as an agenda item.
Sure, we could look at that. We will look at that. I can't guarantee it because the schedules, because council's in and out. The 26th of July?
25th.
25th of July? June? We're going to look at that because of schedules. And also, I want to know what the director of the airport feels at this time, as well as the Board of Commissioners, so we get everybody on the same line.
Great.
No other questions. Everybody have a good day. Thank you. This meeting's adjourned.